Vatican Apostolic Library is not only the Pope's library, but a veritable treasure trove of world heritage. Located in the Belvedere courtyard inside Vatican City, the library has once again opened its doors to scholars from all around the world after 3 years of closure. The Vatican Library was founded by Pope Nicholas V in the second half of the 15th century, thanks to his vision to transform his predecessors' book collections into a library to facilitate the research of scholars. He ordered the acquisition of books from both Eastern and Western markets. By the time of his death in 1455, the Vatican Library held 1,200 manuscripts and was already one of the most important libraries in Europe. 20 years later, Pope Sixtus V, the Pope who commissioned the Sistine Chapel, ordered a reorganization of the library's archives, appointed special staff, and sought further funding. The number of manuscripts continued to grow. Among the most famous manuscripts is Codex B, the oldest of all the manuscripts of the Holy Scripture written in Greek. Over the course of the 16th century, the library's collection had increased dramatically, and there was no longer enough space to house all the works. So, Pope Sixtus V commissioned Domenico Fontana to construct a new building that was completed in just 2 years, between 1587 and 1589, and which still houses the Vatican Apostolic Library today. The frescoes in the Sistine Hall were commissioned to represent the history of the written word. They depict the birth of the alphabet, the great libraries of antiquity, and scenes of the ecumenical councils of the Church, in which each scene has at its center the most important book of Christianity, the Gospel. Over the course of the 17th century, other important works were donated or acquired, such as the Palatini, manuscripts in Latin and Greek from the Palatinate Library of Heidelberg, and the Urbinati manuscripts belonging to the Dukes of Urbino, in Latin, Greek and Hebrew. Another important acquisition was the Reginensi collection, named after Queen Christina of Sweden, who renounced her throne after converting to Catholicism and came to Rome, bringing her personal collection with her. The 18th century saw the addition of the numismatic cabinet, both the sacred and Lateran secular museums and the prince cabinet. During the Napoleonic Wars at the beginning of the 19th century, the library suffered considerable losses, but at the end of the century saw a great remodernization under Pope Leo XIII. The current reading room for printed books was opened, and the library's collection of manuscripts and printed books grew considerably with the arrival of the Sistine Chapel's archive, the Borgiani collection, and the collection of the enthusiastic book collector Francesco de Rossi, which included hundreds of illuminated manuscripts and thousands of rare printed books. In 1922, Pius XII, the former prefect of the Vatican Library, became Pope. Pope Pius XII set about enlarging the library's collection, including the acquisition of the Chigi collection, and created a huge new storage space for the library's collection of printed books, which had doubled in size. But the story doesn't finish there. In the beginning of the 21st century, the Bodmer Papyrus, 14th to 15th, containing the Gospels according to Luke and John, written in 200 AD, was donated to His Holiness Benedict XVI. How is the Pope's library organized? The Cardinal Librarian of the Holy Roman Church, appointed by His Holiness, is the head of the library, whilst the prefect and vice-prefect are in charge of the administration of the library. The Vatican Library has one of the world's largest and most important collections of manuscripts. It naturally has a vast collection of ecclesiastic texts, but also houses an extraordinary number of secular texts. This library should be considered a place of refuge for all that mankind and his intellect, his faith, and extraordinary vision has produced throughout history. The printed books alone housed in the library, from the first incunabula to the books published today, amount to over 1.5 million volumes and take up a total of 50 kilometers of shelving. The prints cabinet of the Vatican Library houses priceless engravings, loose prints, drawings and photographs. The numismatic cabinet houses one of the world's most impressive coin and medal collections with over 300,000 pieces. For more than a century, the library has also housed a restoration laboratory, which studies and implements a variety of restoration and conservation techniques and controls the atmospheric conditions in the library. There is also a photographic laboratory where the library's manuscripts, publications and artifacts are reproduced using sophisticated analog photographic equipment and, more recently, digital technology. The library is also well known for its School of Education for Librarianship, founded by Pope Pius XI in 1934 to train professional librarians. All libraries today rely on modern technology, and the Vatican is no exception. Innovative technology is used not only for cataloguing, but also for locating works within the archives. The Pergamon system of radiolocation uses unique frequencies to locate books that would otherwise prove impossible to find if put out of place in a library of this size. The Vatican Library's collection spans over 2,500 years of human history and covers almost every field of knowledge known to man. Literature, history, law, liturgy, astronomy, mathematics, science, medicine, art, music, philosophy, and theology. What we should remember is that this enormous collection, these treasures housed by the Vatican Library, are in reality the patrimony of all humanity.